We are so happy that you have joined us here tonight. We have a power-packed evening for you. My name is Angela Shaughnessy, and I'm coming to you from the Minneapolis, Minnesota area. And I am very excited to get us going. I want to start by making sure that we all understand that at Univera, we do not claim to treat, cure, diagnose, prevent any of those things with any diseases or disease states. Rather, we believe that giving the body the right raw materials and enough energy in its natural form, your body is the true miracle and it can really heal itself. So just to get started, I'll cover the science aspects just a little bit. As you can see here, there is a seesaw. Well, when we're talking about our bodies, we're all on this seesaw of damage and repair. And when we're young, we have extremely high capacity for repair. And when we're older, we seem to lose some of that capacity for repair, and the damage goes up in our body from just living life. This is just unavoidable things. However, we can do things to push up on that repair capacity and push down on damage. And that is what Univera has done. Everything has been so intelligently designed to either give us more repair capacity or to help us to push down on those damaging aspects that we are incurring just by living our life. And as you can see from this slide, there's a lot of information here. This is a competitive advantage. What I want you to take away from this is to know that there is some really good news. You can trust absolutely everything coming from Univera because they have taken every available resource in science and applied it to nature and plants to do discovery, to learn what is the most bioefficacious part of a plant, which plant. Could it be the leaves, the roots, the bark, the stem? Is it a young plant? Is it an old plant? Is it a flower? Which part of it is actually bioefficacious and works at the genomic level with our cells to bring the most advantage to giving our bodies what they absolutely need? And you can see also that they do extreme amounts of testing to ensure that absolutely everything is exactly what it says it will be in the bottle, that it's at that level and that efficacy and that dosage, as well as to ensure that there's no harmful plant imitators that get in, or perhaps any pesticides or anything like that. It's all tested, and then the highest possible manufacturing standards. So this is good news. This means that Univera knows more than anybody what plants work in the natural world with the body. They have the most research, studies, science, patents, and everything to back it up. So you can absolutely trust what you're getting. And that is really and truly good news. I would love to introduce Connie Lucas to you at this point. Connie is a health and wellness coach, and she has over 20 years of experience. She is fabulous. She knows so much about the science behind Univera and how this works with our body. She's been instrumental in my health journey, and I can't wait for you to get started, Connie. So I'm going to turn this over to you.
Oh, thank you, Angela. It's so great to be back. Nice to see everybody joining us. I'd love seeing those participant numbers go up. Please, still it's not too late to jump in and text somebody and ask them to jump on with us, either on Facebook or here on Zoom. And tonight we have the pleasure of having two physicians that are going to be speaking with us today and having a really great conversation around regenerative nutrition and what it is we can do. And first I'd like to bring on Dr. Tom Acklin. And Tom is a neurologist, and Tom is the founder and president of All Is Well Centers for Mind and Body Integration. Tom, I know, has been an amazing resource to so many of us of really getting our microbiome in check, really understanding the foundation of what it takes to get our bodies in the right position so that the body can do what the body is so capable of doing. So Tom, if you would like to maybe start off, talk about our two key products, Aloe and Extra a bit, I'd love to turn it over to you for a few. Oh, Tom is muted. Can somebody unmute Tom? There we go. You got it, Tom.
You got it. That was a great phrase you finished with, to get the body back in position. When we talk about regenerative nutrition, it all starts in the gut. One of the best prebiotics in the world is aloe. We'll look a little bit more detailedly later at why this works so well at every level of the gut. Immune antioxidant work, Fantastic. Everybody's seen the popped open an aloe leaf and that yummy little jelly in there. That's the sweet spot. So we take the highest density polysaccharide area from the most vibrant part of the plant. Angela was talking about which parts of the plant. Well, plants grow inside out just like people grow inside out, just like all of Mother Nature grows inside out. And we take it right from the sweet spot, hand harvested. Once you get your gut in order, which is fantastic, this coats the lining of the GI tract, the mucin layer. So I'd never even heard of aloe. Aloe on the outside of the skin, the skin, the hair, the nails. It does the same thing at the gut level. So in addition to being a mechanical soothing for the gut at the intestinal wall, it actually is one of the most generous prebiotics in the world. And we'll talk about what that means later. So all your bugs are growing, then you're in good shape. Then when you put good nutrients in your body, they actually make it into the tissues. There's a lot of folks doing good things for themselves and not getting traction, right? I think we all know somebody who is trying to change their food, trying to put good things in their body. If you're not metabolically competent, the tissues are not going to receive the good stuff that actually gets chewed and swallowed. Extra, we call it cellular renewal for a reason. The calendar doesn't say how old you are. We stop working simply because we stop nourishing ourselves. This is one of nature's sweet spots. Talk about inside out. Energy at the core. So we work at the cellular level. Mitochondria are upregulated. Mitochondria are your power packs of the cell. One of my favorite pieces of this whole thing is that once the body's in shape, the mind is in shape as well. We'll talk about the gut-brain axis later, but mental clarity and focus is one of the first things I noticed. And people are looking for ways to get through life. That hasn't ever changed, right? We say it like this is brand new news. This is Mother Nature, and people have always hunted and gathered. About 20 botanical extracts in here. So this is a fantastic cross-section of Mother Nature. It's in a wonderful berry blend, which in itself is a powerful antioxidant. And that's the almost meaningless part of this product. There are other upregulators for the Krebs cycle. All of a sudden, people are better nourished. They're getting traction from their choices, and they're managing their stress better. One of the and the pushing down on the damage side of the C cell, there's a really nice combination that we have a patent on called Protectin, and that is 2 botanicals, Scutellaria and Acacia. There's nothing wrong when the tissues are damaged, right? That's part of the normal turnover of life. We make 300 billion cells every day. We're supposed to lose 300 billion. When those 300 billion don't work, they're supposed to be out. But the normal resolution of that damage is part of a healthy body. So joint comfort and flexibility, fantastic. Then the nutrients actually can get in there and keep rebuilding the target tissues. I'd love to introduce Jason, since talking about joint comfort, strength and conditioning. That's one of the things I saw, stamina. And he works with people all over the world. Dr. Jason Wan, certified as an orthopedics clinical specialist. And we could all use an extra little power lift and run, right? A little aerobic capacity. And Jason, you've been looking for ways not only to carry a message for how the body and goes together, but how to help empower people who are carrying that message, right? You've been working with professionals all over the world with all different kinds of skill sets. If you're on, unmute yourself and tell us what this means to you and what this community means to you, what the product called Extra means to you.
Yeah, so hi, I'm Dr. Jason Wan, aka people call me Dr. J. It's just a play on words because I like playing basketball and there's obviously a really good player named Dr. J. Yeah, so Dr. Tom, I've been a business owner for close to 2 years now, and as a business owner, that's helping a lot of people with chronic issues like chronic stiffness and desk-bound professionals from all around the world. It also takes a toll on my body. So little do people know that as I'm helping people from around the world, like I'm also sitting at the computer managing a bunch of clients, and at the same time I'm managing a team, and there's so many projects to do, there's so many balls to juggle at the same time, and I was honestly getting very, very stressed out not only was, and that stress, I tell my clients all this, is that stress can often lead to neck tension and a whole bunch of tense areas, and that can weigh down on our immune system and everything too. So when I started taking extra, I think honestly, just within like 7 days, I think that's when I started to realize that, oh my gosh, like I'm trying to get 4 projects done at once and none of them are getting done. But when I started taking extra, it's like, wow, I got a lot of mental clarity. I started to just chop down at one project, get that one done, project B, get that one done, C and D. I started to just become almost 200, 300% more efficient than how I was before. And I can't speak enough about it. Like extra, it says cell renewal. Honestly, you do feel like a renewed man. You feel like really just on top of your game. And you don't have to be you could be anybody. You could be a desk-bound professional that's just struggling with productivity or concentrating at work. And extra can honestly do a lot for you within a few days' time.
You know, Dr. J, you said something there that's really critical, because so many times people are looking at a lot of different products and they're trying to figure out, is this worth, what I pay, this and that. I mean, you just named this as $1 million product. When you can upregulate your productivity by 300%, I mean, that's absolutely amazing what that change has been. Can I ask you real quick, Dr. J, how were you introduced to the company?
Yes, I was actually introduced through Marlena, and Marlena graciously kind of went to me and she was like, hey, like, you're a business owner, I'm a nutritionist, let's kind of pair up together. And so we started helping each other. Like she does the nutrition aspects, I help her with the strength training and mobility aspects. And we were just a pair of peas in a pod. And honestly, like after that, she is like, hey, I have this product, I want to gift it to you. And I started taking like the protein. I started looking at the extra and I was like, oh, like, I'm a stressed out guy. Like I'm a guy that's I'm a Ferrari, like always going at 1,000%, and I don't know how to turn it off. And I've been told by hundreds of people. And what extra does for me is it slows me down. It gets me back into an optimal zone of concentration and productivity. And considering also that, like, I don't want to give up my exercise. I want to stay healthy for the rest of my life. Same thing like Dr. Tom said, is that we want to stay healthy for the rest of our life. And if you're not taking care of your nutrition plus mobility and exercise, those are key aspects that you're missing out on. And so I still continue to work out 7 days a week. I do not stop. I continue to work out at that intensity. But at the same time, being a business owner, like extra has honestly kept me on track with, my exercise goals, but also, my business goals.
That's so great. And I ask you that, and Dr. Tom, and bring you back on too. I ask you that, and Dr. Tom Acklin, I'd like you to tell me how you were introduced as well, because I think when we're, for everybody who's listening, the products are important, but also sometimes realizing that anybody is approachable. You can help anybody change their lives. And so how were you introduced to this before we go into the nitty gritty of what regenerative nutrition does?
I'm laughing because the slides are tacking back and forth, and I guess
they don't know what I'm doing. They're just like, why'd you let Connie back on here?
I guess it's a fantastic bridge for me because one of the first things I saw was clarity and focus and better sleep. Started remembering my dreams better, and one of the things that I love most is helping professionals who really went to med school for one thing and all of a sudden they're doing something else. And I happen to come out of the medical community, but that dynamic is true so often in so many health professionals and coaching professionals and nutrition professionals and just about every realm of healer. We've got a lot of empowerment professionals and growth and development work in this community. And you look at the skill sets of the people on this call, it is mind-boggling, right? People out there aren't doing what they signed up for when they stepped into healing. And I think Anna knew that, the lady that shared it with me. And I have to be real honest, what I'm going to talk about tonight, I didn't even know the word microbiome. I probably knew the word, but I certainly didn't know the physiologic import. I didn't know the power of it in the human body. And the microbiome is the family of gut bugs, the bacteria that come along with our food, if anybody doesn't know that word yet. I learned this through Aloe. So I told her to go away. several times. I was the ultimate skeptic. I'm a pretty geeky scientist. I was an immune specialist, and I certainly didn't want to be talking about plant medicine, and I certainly didn't want a botanical research company. And I didn't care if it was the largest botanical research company in the world, and I didn't care if they owned half the world's aloe supply, and I didn't care that we had the largest functional plant library in the world. And what a bonehead I was.
You know,
Right?
but here's the thing. The reason I brought that up is I really want, particularly new people, but even those of us that have been around for a while, to understand, remember these stories, because Tom's telling you this is an incredibly educated person, and you might assume that both of these gentlemen need to know all of the facts. But the truth was, they just wanted to know what it did for them. They just wanted to, you know, to experience it. They just needed to be introduced to it. And obviously, Tom, your friend did not give up on you when
Yeah,
you
thank
said
God
no
she
the
loved
first
me
time,
enough.
right?
Thank God she loved me enough. She gave me extra. I felt great. I was an athlete in a previous life, and all of a sudden, I was an athlete again. I also was training to be a yoga teacher. If you could pop that slide back up with the gut health, let's go there. And I was noticing deeper flexibility. I was noticing much greater stamina, and then I started looking into it, and I knew the products worked, no question about that. And really, and I've been with the community now for 10 years. Been taking the products for 10 years. It's likely I will not stop taking the products. I say often in public that if we really could eat as hunters and gatherers, if we really could eat real food, we wouldn't need product. We wouldn't need supplements, but unfortunately, there isn't very much of it around. There is not very much real food in this country and in the Western Hemisphere, and it's hard. And supplementation is becoming almost mandatory. So I knew the products worked. I didn't quite know why. It took a couple more years. I had other professional concerns as well, and this little magical holy grail off in the corner that kept saying, "Please pay attention to me. Please pay attention to me," was this thing in the middle of the screen here. So we're not going to go into all the details here, but I will share with people. This is a schematic. Over on the left is the gastrointestinal tract. So you got your stomach at the top, your small intestine, your colon. You can see if you look closely there, each one of them has a different environment, right? Human beings thrive in the environment in which they are most suited. And so do plants, and so do bacteria. And more than 99% of the DNA in our bodies is bacterial DNA. Different acid levels, different environments, and different enzymatic activity at different parts. You can think of this as components, right? Modern medicine thinks of the GI tract as a single organ. The organ itself is actually the collection of bacteria. So we call it the microbiome. Micro is small, biome is life. The collection, and there are really supposed to be tens of thousands of species of bacteria. Where do they come from? They come from food. If you're not eating food, you're in trouble. They specifically come from fiber because the prebiotic fiber is the growth mechanism. So plant food doesn't mean you can't eat animals, but if you're eating animals, eat animals and animal products that ate plants or ate their natural environment, right? The bugs that come along with the food actually are nature's magic. And like I said, we're not eating any. Aloe actually recapitulates this environment. So you can see over there on the right all of the different demons, all of the different stressors, right, that take down those arrows mean you've just destroyed the microbiome. You've just destroyed your gut health. The lining that I mentioned, the mucin layer that lines the GI tract, which is regenerated partly by aloe and partly by real food. But aloe is one of the top soluble prebiotic fibers used all over the world across generations, across millennia, right? Every healing tradition. And so you can see the big one, that yellow and red pill way over on the right. That's the killer. It's not just when you have an infection and you take antibiotics. It's not just when you have surgery and take antibiotics. Though that's bad enough, and we know enough now that rebuilding the gut after that is key. But unfortunately, it's in the food and it's in our water supplies, and it's just about, and there's no getting away from it, right? So rebuilding is a mandatory piece of well-being for people who are stepping back into a place of function, of full function.
So Tom, can I ask you this? So you're talking about that kind of mucosal membrane within the gut, but this is also within the lining of your mouth, your eyes, your nose. Is that correct? And doesn't that have just absolutely everything to do with immunity and your ability to maybe block certain pathogens, or maybe your ability to fight off certain things that might be coming at you from every direction? Is that kind of how that works?
Sure. And it's not the same. Every organ and every orifice in the body has a different environment, of course, and so a different bacterial fingerprint, a different and different functions. But you're right. When you think about organic interface, and you think of where life meets life, there is always an inherent question, and the question is this me or is this not me? Right? Is this thing that I just chewed and swallowed me? Is it something I want in me, or is it something I want to let go? And if you have integrity in the gut, if you've got a healthy discretion mechanism, and this is our Congress, right? This is our healthy Congress of bacteria, which is the foundation for every enzymatic process, for every digestive process, for every metabolic process. The human body just doesn't work in sterility, and so these guys are our Congress. They're our decision makers, and we're talking about the gut, of course. But yes, there are lining in the gut, in the pulmonary tract, lining in the oropharynx, lining in the ears, certainly on our hands. And the very last thing you want to do is remove those bugs on any organ of the body.
Well, and I had the experience from taking aloe for so many years too. When we talk about those protective layers, that different allergens, when I was hiking and doing things like that, were not getting to me. I was not having the reaction to those different things because I had built up not only in my gut but also throughout my body, kind of that barrier, that healthy natural barrier to different things that were coming at me. Let me ask you about this and regenerative nutrition as well. Is everybody right now is dealing with an unusual amount of stress, a lot of mental stress, a lot of things that are coming at them that they're not used to dealing with. How does all of this regenerative nutrition play into stress as well as mental health issues, anything that so many people are dealing with right now?
Yeah, and you know what? I had a great conversation with somebody today. I said, or she said, why are we talking about stress? People have always been under stress. I think one of the things that's becoming very, very clear right now is that this is about the most fragile we've been as Homo sapien in the Western world, in the industrialized world, where we have homogenized food and we've created fake foods. And when I say that, I mean trans fats, incredibly high sugar content, and all kinds of toxins and poisons. When we talk to people about changing their habits, a lot of times people are quite flummoxed. How would I ever do that, right? It is so ingrained in our social structures that we are going to eat fast food. There's almost nothing else to eat. You go to a restaurant, even high quality food, which is fried in trans fats, is not delivering the kind of quality nutrients, right? And we're not actually talking about nth degree high quality nutrients. We're talking about subsistence level food, and it's very, very hard to find. So the first order of business for folks is get a variety of plants. And it's not so much the amount of fiber, but it's the variety, because each fiber is like a canvas, and the bugs grow on the canvas, the bacteria grows on the canvas. Best, of course, is if you take one of those carrots right out of the ground and you don't wash it very well. You've got not only the carrot, but you've got the bacteria that came with it. You've got some of the soil bacteria, and you've got the enzymes that helped that bacteria create the carrot in the first place, right? Which is actually what we wanted to do in our body. We wanted to transfer life into us. So barring that, and unfortunately we don't have that kind of variety here, we're in big, big trouble. So when folks are feeling safe, that stress, I think, will dissipate. That also sounds like a catch-22. When you put the gut in order, though, the exciting thing is you don't actually have to do anything to the brain. The last thing somebody who's feeling horrible wants to hear is, well, breathe deeply, or go to a yoga class, or try to relax yourself, or think positively, or just don't think about that drink that you want to take, or, oh, just put the cigarette down. You don't need that, right? These are hard things to do for people who really don't have the capacity. So it's the other way around, really. We have to stop the food poisons first. You build the gut. It's miraculous how people actually have traction. It's what Dr. Jason was pointing to before. You build the metabolic capacity first, then all of a sudden you've got people who can handle life. And then you know what? The very last thing in the world I want is that fast food burger down the street. In fact, I turn the corner here, I can smell it a mile away. And I roll my windows up when I can smell it. It's not attractive anymore. And a healthy, thriving body, when it eats something that is not going to help it sustain and regenerate, pretty much walks away. And
I remember that when I first got started on Extra and Aloe 14 years ago. I remember walking into restaurants and being just absolutely nauseated by the smell of grease and fast food. And it was just something that absolutely happens in the body. So one of the things that I think when people are talking to their friends and anyone they meet about Aloe and Extra is you're really supporting these friends in making these changes, because they're not always easy changes to make. These lifestyle changes Dr. Ackland just talked about are very hard to make without support. So what you're offering your friends and your loved ones is you're offering them the support to build back up their healthy GI tract and absorb nutrition, and the support to reduce stress, to have more energy, to have focus and mental clarity. Dr. J, do you want to tag on to any of that discussion real quick before we wrap things up?
Yeah, I guess I'm the same way as Dr. Tom Macklin. Like I'm all about the research. So when I also started on Extra, I had to do legitimately all the research. And then I also put together research plus anecdotal experience. So I had to experience it for myself. And over the past, I mean, I'm also taking Aloe and Extra. I mean, a lot of times it's like that fast food is just calling out to you. And a lot of times when you're taking the stuff and you're absorbing all the nutrients with Extra and Aloe, like honestly, like just eating certain things, like you can make better decisions about your eating habits. A lot of times, like I'll just eat, and usually I'll just keep eating like that second and third bowl and just eating. And with the stuff here, I just feel more satiated. I feel more satisfied with any food that I eat. And yeah, it's been a great experience. So I'm not going to be off Extra anytime soon. And I'm actually drinking it right now as we speak. So.
Thank you, both of you, so much for coming on. I mean, to have the expertise of Dr. Ackland, to have the expertise of Dr. J, we really, really appreciate your time. And to everybody, Angela and everybody that came in, let's look at what we have to offer. When you're out there sharing, remember when you're talking to somebody that you have the ability to give them free shipping, a 90-day money-back guarantee. They can enroll at best pricing anytime. We don't make anybody jump through any hoops. And as both the doctors just said, you know, you have science-based products with proof, and right there on your gift card you have a place where they can actually look at the patents and the published studies. I mean, what a novel concept, and how easy that makes it to share. So as we look forward to next week, we've got an incredible lineup. We have next Wednesday, Marlena will be hosting and talking with Jay Sorg, who's a professional baseball player and coach, and an incredible motivator and inspiration to listen to at all times. And I'll be looking forward to meeting Christina Berry, who's a certified personal trainer, professional natural bodybuilder, to see what her experience has been with Univera and what her and metabolic fitness coach Marlena can all share with us next weekend. So get out there, tell your friends about Wellness Wednesday, and you have an opportunity 5 days a week to connect with all of you nation. You have the opportunity on Monday nights for the corporate broadcast and some leadership and mentor training, if that's what your thing is. And if you're looking to improve on your business and leadership skills, you have Let's Talk Univera every Tuesday, which is an amazing lineup of leaders and experts to share with your prospects, with your friends, what Univera is all about, because there's a whole lot of people out there that don't know the secret of what we've got. Of course, Wellness Wednesdays, we'll get in a little more into the products and highlight our aloe and our extra. On Thursday evenings, we have the Spanish broadcast, and we're blessed on Sundays to have our CEO and president of Univera, Ralph Beats, and his lovely wife, Ginger, sharing with us from their home and really speaking a lot on Serve First and the community and the culture of Univera. So I want to thank everybody for joining you. Don't forget to get to the into the Health for Good and the Make a Difference Facebook groups. These are incredible places to connect with community 24/7, every single day of the year, that people can reach out, connect with community to get help and answer support, and just an overall fun community. So thank you again to both Dr. J and Dr. Tom for joining us, and everyone in the background. Have a great night.